What's up guys, welcome to my channel. This is the Lifestyle Athletics channel. So we're going to be talking about nutrition and fueling for your performance, especially for track athletes if you have a track meet coming up. So
and you know I'm running back. I want all the noise on the track, running laps, yeah. Like I'm Rod Troy, I'm living fast, switching lanes.
She's the one that has a track meet coming up. And I'm making this video because she asked me the question this morning. She got up and she was like, babe, what should I eat? And how should I eat today? Because I have a track meet. And I thought it would be a cool idea to just kind of do a breakdown of what you should be eating before a track meet, and how I would look at it, how I would structure it for my athletes. So welcome back to the Lifestyle Athletics YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, remember to like and subscribe. And today we're gonna look a little bit into diet and nutrition for competition. So I woke up this morning, my lovely wife has the Ontario Championships, and first thing she said to me was, babe, how should I eat today for my competition? And this is how this video was inspired. So let's talk about it. This video is not sponsored, by the way. This is not sponsored by Ghost. This is just one of my favorite. I don't usually drink what is this? Energy drink? I don't usually drink energy drink, but if I do drink an energy drink, it's gonna be from all natural caffeine with zero sugar. And my wifey put me onto this one because she used to work at a supplement store. So let's taste. It's actually, this flavor is orange cream. I like it.
it tastes like Orange Crush, like the soda.
All right, so let's look at it. The biggest thing that you have to look at when it comes down to fueling before competition is meal timing, right? And this is what I would do. So for example, your track meet is in the evening. You want to make sure your biggest meal is consumed 3 to 4 hours before your competition, right? So let's look at it. Ideally, you want to consume breakfast. That's gonna be your biggest meal of the day. I would say make sure you eat breakfast. Don't be like, okay, I'm gonna skip breakfast, or I'm not gonna eat anything in the morning and I'm just gonna have lunch. I would say make sure your biggest meal of the day is breakfast, right? Like for myself, if I know I'm running in the evening, first thing I'm gonna do is wake up and then have breakfast. I would have breakfast around, depending on what time I wake up, but before 12 o'clock I would have breakfast, and that's gonna be my biggest meal of the day if I'm running at 5 o'clock in the evening, right? So let's look at it. Some breakfast choices. I would say stick to what you've been eating. If you have been having a certain type of breakfast where oatmeal, or you've been having eggs, I would say stick to that. Don't go try nothing new or eat nothing different, right? Because what you're trying to avoid is discomfort. You're trying to avoid discomfort in your belly. You don't want your belly working hard to digest food before competition. Because let's go a little bit into human anatomy here, and we're gonna go into the digestive system a little bit. So when we think about what happens when you eat food or meal timing, don't we think about what happened to your belly when you eat food close to competition, right? So for example, you have like a big meal an hour before competition. Your body is trying to digest that food. So what happens is most of your blood is going to be going to your digestive system to help to break down the food, right? So you're not going to be performing at your full potential, because the blood that's supposed to be going to the muscle to bring oxygen to the muscle so you could like push yourself as hard as you can is going to be going to your stomach to break the food down, right? So that's going to be the biggest thing. So I would say breakfast is going to be the biggest meal. And for breakfast, if you usually have breakfast before training, eat the same thing you usually have. If you don't have breakfast before training, you still want to eat something. I don't have breakfast before training on a regular training day, but before competition, I always make sure I eat a solid breakfast. I want a solid meal in the morning to get me through the day, right? And then for breakfast, again, it's whatever works for you. The next thing you want to do here is think about what you're consuming. Don't stay away from ultra processed food. You want to consume organic food. You want to consume single ingredient foods. You want to make sure that the food sources are natural or close to natural. You don't want to be consuming ultra processed food before you go try to sprint as fast as you can. So a great like what I had for breakfast this morning was I had steak and eggs. I had a sirloin steak, well done, and then I had 2 scrambled eggs and toast. And I also had potatoes, like home fries. That's what I had. And then I'm not gonna eat nothing again until maybe lunchtime. And my lunch would probably be like a bar or something very simple. So it's not gonna be another huge meal. Don't set yourself up for failure. I've seen where athletes, when it comes to competition, they don't eat anything at all. Like they will get up in the morning and they will have banana with peanut butter, right? And they don't eat nothing else. And then they're wondering why, and they're running the 400. This is an event where it's like it's taxing on your body, right? Your warm up is gonna be an hour. You're gonna need fuel. Where are you gonna get the energy from, right? You get the energy from food. So if you don't have anything in your stomach, you don't have any energy, and you cross the line, and you're like, okay, why do I feel like this? Why do I feel like I couldn't go? Right? Like you get a high, you get a little high because you think you feel light and you feel like you're so light, but your body doesn't have no energy, right? You cannot burn any energy if you don't have any in reserve, if that makes sense. So next thing you want to focus on is hydration. I would say make sure you're hydrating throughout the day. Don't wake up in the morning and drink coffee, especially if you're somebody that takes a pre-workout before competition. Do not drink coffee in the morning. I would say just drink water, stay hydrated, drink some electrolytes, especially if you slept in like a cold room and you slept in like the AC or so, you're going to be dehydrated a little bit. So I would say make sure that you're drinking lots of water to stay hydrated. Stay off your legs as much as you can and just relax, right? So let's look at it now. This is before the race, right? So you already had breakfast, you had your huge meal before 12 o'clock, and now this is an hour before you compete. Usually what I would do is I'll have a fruit. I'll have like a banana. Some people will have like a protein bar. Some people would have like an energy bar, whatever. Something small, right? Like for example, Dee's gonna have a protein bar, maybe like an hour, and it depends on how she feels too, because if she doesn't feel like eating anything because her breakfast was filling, then she could just go and compete because she already had like a huge breakfast, right? But what I like to do is I like to have maybe a fruit, like a banana. I don't like protein bars, so maybe I'll have like a sandwich or something. That's what I like. And then what I would have after that is maybe like I like coconut water, so I'll have some coconut water, and I also like beetroot juice, so I'll maybe have some beetroot juice. Now let's do an actual pre-meet breakdown, right? This is gonna be a blueprint or a guideline that you could use or implement for your next track meet, and test it out and tell me how you feel. This is gonna be if you have a track meet in the evening. Say your track meet is at 5 o'clock, or you run at 5:30 or 5:40, right? You wake up in the morning. First thing you want to do is, if you wake up around 7:30, 8 o'clock, you want to have breakfast. For breakfast, we would go oatmeal or whatever you've been having. So if you've been having eggs, you have eggs. If you've been having oatmeal, you have oatmeal, right? But make sure you eat something solid, because you're thinking about your breakfast is going to be your biggest meal, right? After we're done with that, now we're going to look at midday. This is around 11:30, 12, depending on what time you had breakfast. If you still feel hungry or you feel like you want to have something, what you could have is you could have like Greek yogurt with honey and like berries. That's a good little like snack that you could have. Usually my lovely wife would do something like that for me, put it in my breakfast, right? Like my breakfast is usually huge, but if you have a small breakfast, Greek yogurt with honey and a little bit of berries, blueberries, whatever type of berries floats your boat, would be great, right? Our little cup of like fruits, you could have banana sliced up, pineapples, watermelon, whatever floats your boat. You can even add that to your Greek yogurt, right? And that would be like a midday or snack or like lunch. If you're somebody who craves like an actual lunch, for lunch you could go grilled chicken breast. Don't go. Stay away from the fried food, guys. No fried food. You could go grilled chicken breast. You could do a grilled chicken breast sandwich. I wouldn't go a full meal. I would do like a half a sandwich or something like that. So for myself, like for example, last week I was in Jamaica for the trials, and for lunch, for breakfast I had eggs, and for lunch I had a little bit of rice, and I had some. It was like baked chicken I had for lunch, right? And I felt good going in and I ran at like what, 7? It was 7 o'clock, right?
Yeah, and you shared that plate with me.
Right, and I shared it, so I had half of it, right? So you notice the key thing I'm doing here, the meals are small, but they're not a lot of food. All right, let's think afternoon now. So afternoon, I'm thinking this is around 3-4 o'clock. I'm running in the next hour and a half. Right, in the next hour and a half I'm running. So what I want to do is, if I'm still feeling hungry, you could either have an energy bar, protein bar, or you could have rice cakes, whatever floats your boat. I'm not a big fan of none of these two, so I would sub for like fruit. I like fruit, or like a smoothie or something like that. That would be good, right? And then what you want to do is, that would be like your last like thing that you're consuming. After this, you're not gonna eat nothing. So an hour to an hour and a half before your warm up, you don't want to be consuming anything. You could drink coconut water for electrolytes. You could drink beetroot juice. That's a form of electrolytes, as well as a little bit of carb in there. So that's a great source of energy as well. So what you want to do is implement all these things into your routine before your track meet, if you're trying to see the best results. And again, guys, you can't just think that you're gonna eat clean the day of the meet and see results, right? I've seen it too, where an athlete know they have a track meet coming up, so the week of the track meet you can see a dramatic change in dieting, right? So you see where they're eating clean, they're eating portion sizes perfect, everything is good, and thinking that's gonna work. You have to think about what you was doing 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before, a month before, right? Because that's what's gonna give you the result on the day, not what you actually do on the day. What you want to do on the day is what you was doing way before. So I hope this answers your question. I know I was kind of all over the place there a little bit, but I hope this answers your question. And if you guys are interested in me making more videos like this, where I'm breaking down just these nuances of performance and how to improve performance, because as simple as you want to take it, guys, if you are not eat in a certain way and fuel in a certain way, you're not going to perform to the best of your abilities. Like I always say, anybody can come to the track and do a workout, because the workouts are not rocket science. It's either you're a 100 meter, 200 meter, 400 meter sprinter, or you run 8, whatever. The workouts, there's a certain amount of distance and times you have to hit to run a certain time, right? That is standard. The 95% is your lifestyle, is what do you do outside of the track, because you could be a great athlete, you could want it as bad as you want, but if you are not at your body weight that you need to be for your height, and you are not fueling for performance, you're not going to get the results you want. No matter how hard you want to train, it's always going to be ups and downs. You're going to get hurt. It's always going to be like that. So I hope this answers your question, and until the next video, peace out.
And you know I'm running back. I want all the noise on the track, running laps, yeah. Like I'm Rock Troy, I'm living fast, switching lanes, yeah.